Boys and girls, this won't be a long video, so don't worry, but I was kind of pondering today about something that I was talking to a mate of mine about yesterday night. We were just kind of walking. We were on a very mysterious and adventurous walk, and we were kind of talking about different topics. And one thing that we were talking about that really caught my attention, especially today, was the issue a lot of people have with not listening in a conversation. And what I mean by this is not having two ears. That's not what I mean. It's a lot, I'm not like a lot more complex, but there's a lot more to it than just having two ears. And what I mean by this, and I'll kind of bring in a couple of points to it. This video won't be that long, but it's when you're talking to somebody, first of all, when you guys are chatting, whatever, and then when it's the other person's turn to, say whatever, you don't want to be that person who just cuts them off with your idea, because it might seem in your head it's more important, whatever, but to that person it seems less important. And if you really want to, keep a good friendship going, it doesn't just have to be, opposite gender relationships. It's just friendships and relationships in general. And this is what I think as well that can kill a lot of chemistry and friendships and relationships. Even though a lot of people were like, had good chemistry, and then this thing of not listening can really kill the vibe and whatnot. And it's the whole issue of not just cutting off somebody when they're saying whatever they want to say about the ideal topic you're talking about, but also the fact that you kind of ignore what they just told you, and you kind of then rant on about your own thoughts that you had in your head, because that just shows to the person you're talking to that you don't actually care about what they have to say. You don't care about literally anything, and that person may take offense or think that maybe this relationship isn't for me, and it'll kind of just separate that friendship bit by bit until it just kind of doesn't work out. And I see this all the time. I'm talking to somebody, and again, I'm not a perfect person. I do this occasionally as well. It's a bit of a habit, but I've definitely broken away from what I used to be many years ago. But I'm talking to somebody, whatever, and or I'm listening to somebody, whatever, and I want to say my thing, and then they just like cut me off, and then keep talking. It's like, mate, like, where are your manners? You gotta listen to, and I'm not saying this in any like kind of arrogant way and kind of like you gotta listen to me or else kind of way. It's more the fact that like they finished the conversation, like they finished their point they kind of said, and then once it was my turn to speak, they just kind of cut me off, and it was like very rude, and just kind of makes the whole impression of that person not really caring for what I have to offer in the conversation, which ultimately ended up causing us to just not really have like good chemistry or whatever, and us going different ways, which is alright. But when you really want to like make friendships with people, make good relationships with people, no matter if it's a boy or girl, you don't want to be that person who just is the ignorant person. You want to be the person who really like listened to what they said, and then once it's your turn to speak, you kind of add on to that. And I don't know, it doesn't have to be something like over the top. You can just like add on to it. You show your appreciation to what they offered in the conversation, and you show that you really listened, and you like still have something to offer. If you don't do this, you're giving yourself a lot of limited options. But anyway, this is all just kind of what I observed in my whole like talking life. I don't know, but take what you want from what I have to say, and have a good one.